So MLS, when I was a kid growing up in the 90s, early 2000s, MLS, I would say, had a pretty uncertain future. Soccer was not as popular in America as it is now. I would say there was some gimmicky elements to it, from the way that they were doing PKs to even the uniforms and the team branding and all that, where now MLS has really kind of risen into this conversation where it's not in the top flight of leagues, Premier and Serie A and all these, but right there, kind of in that next level, MLS is kind of climbing into this respected league. There's real talent. There's real superstars, right? Messi, of course, coming over last year was huge for the league. Where do you see the MLS, or I made the cardinal sin there, MLS. Where do you see MLS slotting in on the world stage, and how is it continuing to grow and expand and evolve?
Yeah, on the world stage, in terms of ranking leagues, there's a lot of subjectivity around it, but there are some metrics and stuff that people put out, and it's usually in the top 10, but pretty near 10, 8, 9, 10, somewhere in there. So a long ways to go to get that top 5 status, which a lot of people say the top 5 leagues. That's England, Germany, Italy, sometimes France or Portugal kind of split the 5th spot. But part of that is because MLS was founded in 1996. That was their first season, where the European leagues are hundreds of years old at this point. The English Football League was founded in like the 1880s or something insane like that. So we got a lot of catching up to do. But in the last 10 years, especially last 5, really, it's kind of gotten to hyperdrive in a lot of ways, in terms of like the investment from the ownership and players who are realizing that it's a destination league rather than a retirement league, which I think it's unfortunately still has that reputation a little bit worldwide. And like you mentioned, Messi coming, still great for the league, but that kind of solidifies the retirement league for a little bit longer. But there's a lot of really talented players coming in their primes as well, that just don't have the name cachet that Messi does, of course, especially from South America. A lot of importing players who are super talented, who come here in their early 20s, sometimes late teens, and then do well here. And then they go on to Europe, to the even more established leagues. So MLS is kind of trying to the 1-2 punch in terms of getting established talent here, or up and coming talent here, to raise the league floor, and then also still getting the name brand guys like the Messis and the Suarez's down in Inter Miami, kind of leading the charge on that one. So you get the name recognition and the big stars, and you get to say, I saw Messi play, which is really cool. But also there's a lot of talent in between, and there's also a lot of domestic talent. Like the U.S. talent pool has never been more impressive. And a lot of that is thanks to MLS and the academy system, which I'm sure we'll talk about here in a minute. But yeah, the league's never been stronger, and it's only growing. And I think once the World Cup comes here in just about a year, that could really take it to the next level in terms of the overall exposure to the league, both here and abroad as well.
Man, I hope you're right. And I bring up Messi, of course, not because I want the retirement league reputation for MLS, but because I do think like that was some juice into folks that maybe wouldn't watch soccer otherwise, wanting to get into MLS and see what it's about. The other thing MLS has done that's really smart to me is they are picking really strategically where these new programs are coming. So like putting a team in Austin a few years back, brilliant. Like that's a city just made for professional sports, and the first professional sports franchise there is MLS, right?
Absolutely.
San Diego coming to the league this year, right? San Diego, of course, losing the Chargers to LA a few years back. That city's thirsty for a professional sports franchise to support. So I think that's been another way MLS has kind of brought in the country here to support these teams.
Yeah, absolutely. It's funny because you mentioned Austin. I'm from Austin. I was born and raised there. That's where I started playing the game. And I'm an FC Dallas fan because back in 2005, when I first had the thirst to watch pro soccer, Dallas was literally the only MLS team in the state. So my dad and I would drive up, do the 4-hour drive up to Frisco every couple of months to catch games. So the fact that Austin was for a long time the largest city in the states that didn't have a pro team, yeah, they were crying out for it. And obviously with their support they've had, they've done really well. Now they do need to get their act together a little bit on the field, because I think they've only made the playoffs one time. But that'll happen for sure.